what are some of the do's and don'ts in a relationship? So in today's podcast, Sissy and I, we're going to talk about some of the things that you should absolutely do and some you should completely stay away from. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned.
Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Sissy, and I'm joined by my hubby.
Hey, this is Will.
Hey, babe, what's up?
I'm good. And welcome to our weekly podcast. If this is your first time with us, remember to subscribe and hit on that notification bell so you can be notified when these videos come out. Mm-hmm. Now, in this podcast, we talk about
a whole lot of stuff here, but mostly about relationships. Here on this podcast, we talk about love, family, life, relationships all day, every day. And sometimes, I'm not going to say it because my husband's like, no, we don't. We don't be talking about politics. Yeah, you're right. So, yes, welcome back. So, as you guys know, before we get into the topic of the day, we'd like to go into our blissful moment. So, what is your blissful moment, sir?
This week is better than last week.
Okay.
No illness. I've been healthy.
Good.
The shoulder started hurting a little bit, but I'm good. Wrapped up the week. Almost done with my project.
Okay.
You know? So
a long way.
So it's a good thing. It's been
almost 90 days.
No, has it been that long?
I know it's been over 60 days.
Maybe it has been. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work,
but I'm almost done.
That's right.
So I am proud.
That's
Had
awesome.
some long nights, some early mornings,
some no sleep.
Some no sleep.
Some days no sleep at all. That's just insane.
Yes.
Like,
but I don't have to do that anymore. I'm almost done.
Yeah, but I'm proud
done.
of you though.
I could see the finish.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
I can.
It's like
literally, I can.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your blissful moment?
We're proud of you. We're very proud of you. And
I'm proud of myself too. Thank you.
Yes, the girls and I, you know, we had faith in you from the beginning of the process until like you're almost done. It's like a major proud moment as a mother, a wife, you know. I was like, yes, I made the right choice. I got me a handyman who can build a house, you know.
I may try building a house.
You should build our next home.
This is the biggest project.
How about we do this, you know, for the next couple of years, you know, once we get ready to leave and move to a new home, you go ahead and go back to school and study to become
an architect.
Yes, and then you build our next home, you know, whether here in Florida or up north, wherever it is. So that could be a good project for you because I could see you will be very excited.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Hey, listen, if you did what you did, like for this major experience, I feel like this work that you did is like a experienced handyman or whatever you want to call it, someone who's licensed, and you're not. You just like put your wisdom, your mind together. So that's like, go to school and get your, you know, just send you back to school, baby, so you can build that house.
Well, I can build the house.
I sure know.
Probably gonna build you a house, a hut or something.
Yes, but we are so proud of you, and I definitely, you know, and I've been there in the beginning of the process, you know, helping out. But after that, he's like, I got this, baby. You don't have to worry. I'll take care of it. So that's a proud moment right there as a wife. So yes, that's actually my blissful moment too. Although I'm not feeling too well, but that's not a blissful moment. But
no, that means she's proud of me.
Yes. What you just said?
They know what that means when she's proud of me. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, it's I'm proud of myself because, you know, before I embarked in that project, I had my moments of doubts.
Of
and
course.
I said, you know what? If I screw up, I screw up, but I'm gonna do it.
That's right.
And yes, it took some time. It took some figuring out. A good chunk of it, I had to kind of make sure it fell into the right place as I was going. And yes, I had to tweak a few things along the way. But that's anything involving building things.
Right.
you always have to make some changes, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
but yes. I know we've been talking about I'm doing something. None of y'all know what it is. You find
It's not me. I told you in the beginning, it's not me. It's like, we're building something in me. No, not that. But, we actually, it's all him. That's all I got to say.
If there's one thing I can share with anyone who may run into things they haven't done before, it's equip yourself with some knowledge and just go at it.
Go to YouTube University too.
Yeah, YouTube University is there. But you know what? The trap you don't want to let yourself fall in is watch YouTube and never do anything. No.
Right.
Watch some YouTube and then start. And you can keep watching some YouTube while you're figuring it out. But do it.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that some of you may want to do. But because of the fear of failure, because of the fear of I'm not gonna get through with it, that you don't start. I bet you if you start and you're determined, you'll get to the end.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, there's this project that I've gone into, never done before. Yes, I've gone through it. Yes, I've run into cases where I said a few words because things were just not coming in together.
A lot of them too.
Yes, and that's okay.
And sometimes I'm like, babe, the girls are here. Watch your words. Watch what you're saying. Okay. So yes, a lot of those few words.
So much about my projects.
Yes, so much about your blissful moment, more like.
So much about my blissful moment. See, I actually have a good one this time.
Okay.
Better one rather, because they're always good.
Yeah, there you go. That's more like it.
So, topic of the day. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
The do's and the don'ts in a healthy relationship.
Okay, so you start.
The do's is do what your partner wants and do things so they can be proud of you. So take some risk, do some stuff you haven't done before. And you know what, in all honesty, it's important
yes.
to do things. I mean, if you're a man, be resourceful, meaning that figure things out. Now, not all of us are handy. I understand that. But if something needs to get fixed or so, if you can't fix it yourself, get someone to fix it, but don't sit on it. Right?
Don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it, because if your family is depending on you to get things together, yes, if you don't have the skills to be able to do it, just get the right person and get it done. Because at the end of the day, your family is going to thank you. So yeah, that's the one thing. Get stuff done. I was going to say a word which I don't think we've said in this podcast, so I'm not going to say it, but get stuff done. Yeah, we'll start with an S as well, but I'm not going to say no more. So get stuff done. It's important because when you're getting stuff done.
They understand you, baby. They got you.
When you're getting stuff done, you're exercising your duties as the head of a household. And sometimes the wife is the head of the household and she'll get stuff done. So do things.
Yes.
Pay attention to things that needs to be taken care of and take care of them.
Yeah, don't just play like this. Okay, it's her responsibility, it's his, and y'all within each other to start something. Like, no. I mean, we know that every relationship requires like work and a little bit of effort too, right? Or some people, a lot of effort.
A lot of effort.
Yes, and I feel like there's going to be ups and downs, but you got to remember in the end, it's all worth it. It's all worth it if you love that person, if you want to make it work.
That's what I was going to say, if you want to make it work, because this relationship you're in is just, when do I cut it off? Right?
True,
if you really love this person and you see yourself living together long term, yes, the sacrifices you'll make, and yes, at the time you're making it may seem tough, it may seem unusual, it may seem, geez, when is this ever gonna end? It will end, because nothing's permanent.
Yes, absolutely.
When it ends, you'll realize that it worked out. Yeah, and remember, no matter how much you work at stuff, things will go wrong and things will not quite work the way that you expected.
Listen, sometimes I be planning things and my husband is like, what are we doing? And I'm like, seriously. Because, he's not a mind reader, which he told me this all the time. And I know not to do that ever again. Because that's like definitely a don't. Don't think that your man is a mind reader, because I have a husband who is not a mind reader.
I'm not.
I don't care how long we've been together for, like 10 years plus, married 10 years plus, dating 15 years. And he's just not that type.
I don't know what you're thinking.
Sometimes I'm like, babe, well, you know what I like. You know what I don't like. So therefore, I'm expecting you to, after a long time, you think they'll get it? Mm-mm. So I know not to ever.
Well, I've never gone wrong with the red velvet cake. So I know you like that.
True.
So I just don't remember it all.
But what I'm saying is, as part of my don't, is don't think that your spouse is a mind reader, because a lot of us ladies, we think our men can read our mind or understand, unless if you're my dad, it's like, let me surprise you with this and that. Hey, look at him.
I'm not your dad.
I'm almost gonna throw this card out there. But yes, unless your man is one of those people. But listen, ladies, my point is, your man is not a mind reader, and sometimes they feel like, my wife should know that I'm not a mind reader, so she gotta come up front. She gotta really come at me and ask what she needs. But a lot of time we just want to be surprised and be like, okay, I thought about this, so here we go.
And sometimes it may happen. But just because it happened once, don't think this person is now an expert at figuring things out. Sometimes we get lucky.
I guess that's the word. You get lucky. Or yes. I think you're right.
Yeah. And this is what we have to check on our expectations. Am I expecting this person to be God or something? They know what I'm thinking, always in my mind, and they'll always get it right. No, we're not. We're humans, and sometimes we screw up. But if you screw up, know that you screw up. Because sometimes we screw up, we blame the other person for our own screw up.
True.
And so you got to own up to your stuff.
The same mess.
Yeah, own it.
Own it.
If you screw up, admit that you screw up. And how do I do better?
What are your do's, baby?
My do's?
Yes.
I don't know. What are my do's? My as far as doing for your partner, I think respect. That's one thing. You gotta respect your partner, which means don't ever disrespect them in any way. You can have an argument. You can have disagreement, but once you start attacking this person personally, that's a problem. So that's me saying that do respect, do not disrespect.
Okay. So that's like do's and don't right there.
So respect your partner, and obviously remember that although you may disagree with this person, you still love them.
Right.
You still love them. So don't do things that hurts them.
True. Don't do things for the sake of doing things to make them feel like what they did was wrong. I can be guilty at that. I'm being honest, right? We keep it real in this podcast. And sometimes I do things just to make my husband feel like, what you did was wrong, so I'm going to make you feel it. Right? So I learned not to do that ever again because it didn't go well. It didn't go too well. So...
And this is where you got to look at, what am I doing? Is it making things better, or is it going to make things worse?
In some cases, it's worse in our relationship.
It's always worse. Because if you're doing something for the sake of, I got to make this person feel, when they feel bad, what, you think they're just going to be happy? No, when you make them feel bad, they get pissed.
Yes. Just don't do that. I mean, unless if your spouse is like different, where they did you wrong and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make them feel what they did to me was wrong. Then they come and start acting like a baby and start crying. Then you may be lucky get one of those men. My husband is not. However way you're feeling, you'll get over it. That's just how he is. Get over it.
But this is the one thing. Don't seek revenge. And this is where this whole thing that I got to make you feel it because you made me feel bad. I got to do whatever I can to make you feel bad. Revenge never leads to any positive thing.
No,
because all it does is create more fighting and more disagreement, more argument. So
yeah, more.
And sometimes we get so hung up on being right that we're not. So
Especially typical men, like traditional men, I would say. Modern day men, they're like, okay, babe, let's talk about it. I apologize. Like, I feel like old school men, they just don't.
It's not just a man.
Let's just say, I feel like old school husbands, men, they feel like to me, it's a way of like their ego gets in the way of them apologizing like for what they did, right? You gotta come and apologize. All right, babe. I know what I did was wrong, so I'm sorry, right? That's plain and simple. Like,
listen, it takes some guts to apologize, because some people think that when they apologize, they're in a position of weakness. I'm bigger than my wife, so I can't be weak. So if I need to apologize, I'll apologize. Sometimes she doesn't think my apology is really mean an apology, but they always been sincere.
But what do I say, baby?
She'll flat out says you're not apologizing. It doesn't seem real.
No.
But honestly, my apologies are always real.
You can't apologize for something you keep doing over and over again, right?
I haven't gotten it right yet.
Then stop apologizing for it. Like, you can't come and apologize to me for, okay, but I'm sorry, I know I messed up again. Well, prove me how you're going to fix it instead of keep coming at me, instead of keep coming and telling me that you apologize.
So here's what she's saying. If you haven't gotten something right and you've done it every time, don't apologize.
Don't.
So I'm going to remember that. If I have some issues that I have not gotten it right until I'm about to get it right,
you're about
for certain,
to.
then I'll apologize.
Okay, and I'll tell you, make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense to me, then it just has no value. Yeah.
Forget our kidding aside. It's important to apologize, and that's all part of owning up your stuff. If you screw up, own it up, apologize for it, and find ways to make it better next time. Now, if you screw up again, maybe you still haven't found the right way to get it at. And there are things that we do that we didn't just wake up one day and do it. It's a habit that's been formed over the years. So sometimes you can't just flip a switch and change it. You have to build a new habit. Which means you can screw up a couple more times while you're building that habit. And we have to understand that. And I'm not saying, hey, listen, just taking crap from your partner forever until they get it right. No. Yeah, remember you said you're going to work on this? It's about time you get it together. And it's their responsibility to keep doing their best to get it together. But it's not going to happen overnight. However, there are things that are so bad that if it does happen, you need to do whatever you need to do to get it right as quickly as you can. Especially things that hurt your partner, things that you do. Like, for instance, if you have alcohol issues and when you get drunk, you get violent, you need to get to whatever place you need to do as quickly as you can to fix that problem. Right. So there are things that, yes, if this happens, seek the right help, get whatever you need to do to be better. And then there are things that you can build a new habit. Like I say, still I have issues and it pisses her off. I say I'm sorry when she says she doesn't like the fact that if I didn't hear her, that I said I'm sorry for her to repeat herself. So there's little things like this, and those things I've been saying them for years, and I gotta get that out of my system. I can't go to therapy for that. That's for sure. But apologize. If you do something wrong, apologize to your partner.
Yeah, and definitely apologize to your partner. And we all have flaws. We all have our issues. We're human, right? But you gotta learn. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like, it's like, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times. It's like my fault.
Shame on you.
My fault. Shame on me. So it's like, okay, when are you gonna get it? So in a way, it's like, okay, if you know that you with your spouse, there's a lot of things that you gotta really sit down and talk to your spouse about. Those are the do's and the don'ts. I don't get how you do these things. I would prefer if you do it a certain way, and just watch out for red flags. And I think that's important. And you gotta learn how to work on your flaws. Like, again, we human, we have flaws, and I think when you love someone, you're with that person for such a long time, you're really going to have to get it someday.
And there's another thing I would say when it comes to working on it, you can always help your partner work on their flaws. Now, many of us, the approach that sometimes we take is, this happens, I'm going to bash you until you get it right.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't belittle him or her,
Yes.
right? Because that's important. You actually bring down her self-esteem or his self-esteem because you're not helping.
Yes.
The things that my husband and I would do is like, when I don't like a certain thing that he does, or if he doesn't like, well, he rarely likes things that I did to him.
I rarely dislike things that she does.
Yes.
She's not perfect, but I'm
not
good.
perfect, but then again, I do get you. Sometimes you're like, it's nothing. But I'm like, it is something. We really need to sit down and talk so you can learn. I think that's how we learn and listen to each other. I really feel like when you listen to your spouse and you make it happen, then it felt like you actually working on something. You know what I mean? So don't belittle him or her, because it's going to really kill her self-esteem or his self-esteem.
Well, yes. And you don't come to solution by fighting.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, one has to be the bigger person. One has to be the bigger person. One has to learn to take the high road.
Michelle Obama said, when they go high.
So when I go high, you go low. See?
Oh no, when I go high, you go low, because I cannot go low. I cannot. Okay.
Yeah, but one has to be the bigger person, because if you're going high, I'm going high, then we're gonna hit the ceiling.
We're gonna explode,
and we'll both bump our heads.
Yes.
So one has to learn to be the bigger person, and sometimes the bigger person means that, okay, I'm gonna let you be, and I'm gonna take the approach that allows me to maybe understand where you're going from and where you're coming from, and maybe help you reason.
Okay.
Hear you out, let you vent, let you go as high as you want to go. And then I come in and I make you feel a little better. And then I teach you some sense. But one always have to be the bigger person.
True. And
the bigger person can take different shape, different forms. Sometimes it feels like you are giving in. You letting this other person control you, but no. Remember, when you're in a relationship, the objective is to be able to live together. Now, living together means that you will have fight.
Yeah.
And sometimes one person has to stop the fight. And sometimes that means being the bigger person. Okay,
right.
I'm going to be the one who would just hold my tongue and not say anymore, so this does not continue.
Then not say anymore. I'm one of those people where I got to speak my mind.
Yes, if you want to speak your mind, but I'm sorry.
But we're not fighting.
If you're in a heated argument where it gets heated, one of us can say, you know what? It's not going the right way.
Yeah.
It's not going the right direction. Let me just put a stop to it here.
Sure, I agree. One thing I want to say is to a lot of these women who are moms and have a lot of responsibilities out there, don't let your husband make you feel any fear of speaking your mind, right? Because sometimes there's a lot of guys who may be they very macho man, they tall, and then you okay,
I'm tiny, I can't say anything.
You can't say anything because you feel like if you do, your husband's gonna feel a certain way. But then what's the point of us being in this marriage if we can't really speak, if we can't really resolve our problems?
So do speak your mind.
So some man may feel, some wife may feel intimidated by their husband, right? Because of the way that they are. So therefore, if you feel like, okay, there's things we got to talk about. There's things we really need to sit down and talk about it and make sure that I am comfortable talking to you, that I don't feel like, you threaten me, or I don't feel like, if I'm talking to you and I feel like you either looking at me like you don't respect me, or I feel like you just don't agree with what I'm saying, or you're not listening, right? Because some men that just sit there, but they're not really taking all in. They just there, but is it really going through what I'm talking to you, what I'm saying to you? So therefore, it's really important when we sit down and talk about these things. And yeah, we all know there's going to be where you talk too much. I don't have time for this. But I need you to listen to me, though. This is why you married me. This is why we are in a relationship. Whether if we're not married yet, we're together.
There should be a limit to the length.
Okay, but it's important to me to say for you to listen. My husband sometimes, I mean, you are a great listener. I think sometimes it's like, okay, baby, get to the point.
Get to the point.
But I'm glad at least, he's listening and want me to get to the point, which is fine. I mean, he's paying attention. He just want me to keep it short, right? I mean, this is the husband that you want to tell you, get straight to the point, what you want, what are we doing, right? As opposed to just like you sitting here and talking for a good amount of talk.
Read me a book or something.
And then your husband is like in Hawaii because it's like daydreaming or falling asleep while you're talking.
So 2 things here. Be a good listener.
Yes.
But keep your communication short.
Listen.
And to the point. It doesn't make sense to fill the thing with all fluffs. I don't want to miss the point. Get to the point. Hey, listen, we screwed up on this, or this happens. It shouldn't happen this way. This is what I think we should do. What are your thoughts?
But sometimes we got to start from the top to get to where we need to get to.
No. Put it in bullets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were the events that took place, and I didn't like them. So I need you to do better. That's it. Don't tell me, remember that day it was raining? I don't remember that stuff.
I don't be doing that.
So you don't, but if anyone's doing this, don't. So keep it straight, but it's good to listen. But it's good to keep the communication clear, concise, and put it in a way that we can get to the point. So the key is to get things resolved and move on.
Right.
But
sometimes things really resolve and move on.
Always.
Anyways.
But we all have to learn to move beyond things, right? How quickly we do that all depends on the relationship. But no one in any relationship should hang on to everything that happened and never. You got to learn to let go and move on to the next phase. What, if something happened 2 years ago, we're just going to sit here and keep having arguments about it? No,
but for us to move on to the next phase, we need to conclude this phase and
okay,
move
we'll conclude it really quickly.
By not doing the same thing over and over again,
yes,
right?
I absolutely agree.
So how we keep closing the chapter if we're still having the same issue, the next chapter?
Well, you can't close a chapter if you're still reading it. So
if you're still having issues.
If you're still having issues with something, just fix it. If you can't fix it on your own, get therapy. But you got to learn to get to a point where we can say, you know what? We good with this. Let's move on. Because in life, there's always things that happens. You want to get to the next thing that you're going to fight about. Don't keep fighting about the thing you've been fighting about for the last 2 years.
Do you feel like, speaking in general, like your partner is obligated to satisfy all your needs, like every needs that you have, and you marry someone or you're dating someone, that they should satisfy every needs that you have? I
don't know about satisfying every needs. I don't think anyone has it in them to be able to satisfy every needs.
Except for God.
Yes, God can, but God is not just someone. God is God. But no one has, and this is where in a relationship, yes, there's always going to be some compromise. Things that you may wish to do or be or get to, that just don't have it. Don't have the ability to get you that.
And then we're going to work to get there together.
Yes. And if we can get there, we get there. If we can get to a different place similar, we'll get there. Because, when the expectation is that you would get everything that I've ever desired, you could be putting yourself in a position to never have a relationship that works.
Yeah, you got to be real. Like I always tell my friends, my people, my girls, not my daughters, but friends, that set realistic expectations.
Oh, yes. That doesn't mean you have to set the bar really low. Because as human, we still want to move to the next phase in our lives. But, you don't want to get to Z without going through B, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the reason why I said that too, set your expectation is just in a way to avoid disappointments. Like you don't want to have these arguments like we talking about.
Yes, avoiding argument could be an easy thing, but sometimes it's necessary to have these arguments.
And sometimes you gotta know not to set high expectations, which is so you don't get disappointed.
You could do that, but I think we should expect certain things.
Yeah.
We should expect things, And as partners, we should expect the best from each other. Mm-hmm. The things that we have to be very cautious. If that expectation, we didn't get to it, don't beat this person up. Fine, maybe there's something that we didn't do. Maybe next time let's do it together so we can get there. Because at the end of the day, we still want to keep progressing towards whatever the future holds for us. Mm-hmm. And if we didn't meet this expectations, yes, it may be a bummer that we didn't, but that doesn't mean it's not doable. Now,
yeah, but you don't.
If we've been trying for years and years, it does not. Maybe we should do something else. Well, yes. Hey, listen. If you keep banging yourself in that wall, you got to realize at the end of the day, you're probably never going to get through it. So maybe you should take a different route.
Yeah.
So, yes. So if you're doing things or there are things that you've been expecting, it's just not happening. Yes, you can change your expectation. Remember, you're human. You can change what you do. You can change what you want.
Yeah.
So you have full capability of doing that.
And I truly feel like sometimes we'll let our feelings and emotions build up. We'll let whatever. I know he's laughing. It's like, you chuckle right now. It's like all about me. You know, your woman is like that. But that's okay. I'm like that. That's fine. That's just who I am. I have emotions. I have feelings. I'm my mother's daughter. So we really are very emotional people. And I think my daughters are too. Both of my girls are very emotional. I know you're not. My husband has no emotions.
I don't have time to waste.
But again, sometimes I do feel like we let our feelings and our emotions build up because of high expectation, things that we thought, when we put so much energy, so much expectation in someone that we are dating, and then when that don't happen, we like get all emotions are like taking over. We really let our feelings get in the way. So I definitely feel like sometimes we just gotta okay, it's not gonna happen, and it is what it is.
Yes, we gotta learn to make peace with certain things. Mm-hmm. However, there's a lot of things that many people have been able to achieve is because maybe someone gave them a hard time when they didn't do it.
I don't know about that, but okay, that's I don't know. Yes. I'm just saying, I don't know about that.
Well, we can push each other in a sense that we can encourage each other to be better. Whether it's like, for instance, Cece will tell you I'm not the most romantic guy because I'm not that emotionally attached.
But I tell you this.
But I know I can do my best to do better, to be better at showing affection to my wife. Now, if she says, you know what, forget it, he's just not, then I probably will never get better, right? Mm-hmm. So in a sense that if she expects me to be, but she lets me know, hey, this is what I'm expected of you, that causes me to keep putting up the effort to be better at it because I know she's looking for it. So, and that's why sometimes if you have someone pushing you, it forces you to be better.
Yes.
So yes, if something don't quite happen, sometimes you can get emotionally and let that person know how disappointed you are. Maybe that will get them to get it next time.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Hey, listen, that's how life is. Some we get, some we don't get. Yeah.
Okay.
And we do what we can with what we have. If this is the partner you have, the partner you wish to spend your life with, if there's something that can help them get better, whether they like it or not, I think we have a responsibility and a duty.
Yes.
To bring that up to their attention. And believe me, as humans, sometimes we have a lot more flexibility in changing than we think. There's many things that I've said, man, this is not my thing. I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And then you've allowed yourself to fail at it a couple of times, and then you got it right.
Absolutely. Right? Yes. To avoid all these argument, all this nonsense, guys, if you're dating someone out there, have your do's and don't. That way you know.
List and put it out there.
That way you know. If we're gonna go on a date, those are my do's and don'ts. When it comes to, and if you're married to someone and you like newlywed, brand new marriage, you guys need to really sit down and talk about things. One thing I want to say is that don't let your emotions get in the way. I mean, that's like a major thing for me. And I'm sharing this with all of you women out there who are married or dating. Yes, we do have a lot of emotions. We do. I mean, God, you really give us a lot of emotions that sometimes we don't know what to do with them. But yeah, like really have your do's and don'ts. Like if you really feel like you got to sit down and talk to your spouse about certain things, do it just for the sake of arguments, for the sake of, you know what, babe, let's sit and talk about this. I really feel like this is being bothering me. And I feel like this will help our marriage or our relationship because we really need to sit and talk. I've been feeling this A, B, C, D, E, and Z. You know, I've been feeling this and this and this. And I want you to really help us get through this. Because sometimes men, they be like, okay, she's emotional. She don't really want to talk about it. But then what can I do on my end? What you can do is really like approach her and say, hey, how can we talk about this? I know you've been feeling, my husband is great at this. He knows me so well. Like when I'm down, I'm not happy about something, he come and ask me. I know you're not, this is not you. What's going on? Is there anything I can do to help? And sometimes because of my emotion getting in the way, I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Don't come at me. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. And a lot of time we push them away, but when you really think about it, they come and ask for help. They come and actually, and they want to help. So be open and let them really
help.
Yes. And try again. Don't let your emotional get in the way, because that's really going to put a barrier into your marriage or your relationship. So have your do's and don'ts list before you're dating someone. Or whatever. Just sit and talk to your spouse and make sure you guys really see each other eye to eye. Right, babe? What'd you say?
There we go. She said it. She said it. So, guys, this is our podcast.
Yes.
On the do's and the don'ts.
The goods and the uglies.
To maintain a healthy relationship. So, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for sticking around until the end. If this is your first time with us, again, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so you can be notified when we put out these videos. Don't forget to check us out on the audio channels.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. I'm always missing one.
Yeah.
So, hey, remember to check us out. We appreciate you guys listening. Please remember to share this podcast. Please remember to like it. When you like it, it tells YouTube that people are interested.
Yes.
Let's show it to more people, and we appreciate it. Leave some comments. We appreciate those comments. Cece reads all of them.
I sure do.
If she hasn't replied to some of the most recent ones, she's been bogged down in a number of things. She hasn't gotten to all of them yet.
Yes.
But she will get to you.
I will get to you.
So on that note.
And also, I want to shout out. I want to shout out to my mom's birthday on Wednesday, May 18th. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday. Yes.
And so enjoy your birthday. Wish God gives you a whole lot more birthdays.
Yes.
You need to be 200 years old.
Amen.
You'll be really old, but you'll be around.
Listen, you're going to be around for a long time, okay?
Absolutely.
And see your grandkids married and have great-great-great-grandchildren. So, Mom, we really want to take this special time and to wish you a happy birthday on Wednesday, 5/18. You know, you're born on Haitian Flag Day. You really put my grandma through so much while we were celebrating Flag Day. But grandma was in the hospital giving birth to you. You know, so we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. You really like my other side of the pillow. You know that you're my besties forever. Right, babe? She's my besties for life. And I love you.
It's costing me a whole lot on my phone bill, but I understand. So happy birthday, Mommy.
Yes.
On that note, we'll see you guys.
We love you.
Next Saturday.
Bye.